Hello, friends. Welcome back. And thank you so much for always being on board. And I really treasure your company. Now, in this session, in the next few minutes, we want us to look at simplification of algebraic expressions by factorization. Now, one of the uses of factorization is simplification of expressions. Remember, in an earlier clip, we saw how we can factorize an algebraic expression. If you can check through, one of the methods of factorization is factorization by grouping. You can refer to one of the earlier clips. So take us through this session. We look at some two examples, and then at the end of my presentation here, I'll also give you an exercise that you can do for your own practice. Now let's look at an example. You could be asked, let's call it example 1. You could be asked to simplify an expression like what we have here as, say, RT plus RQ over MT plus MQ. Now, this is an example of an algebraic expression. We can also call it an algebraic fraction because it has a numerator and a denominator. Now, to simplify this, we first of all consider the numerator on its own, and then the denominator, and then after that we combine the two cases to get a simplified form of the expression. To begin with, we can look at the numerator. Now in the numerator we have two terms, RT and RQ, so the sum of these two terms. So to factorize the numerator, of course we look for a common factor between the two terms. So as you can see here, it is clearly visible that the common term is actually the common letter, or is actually R. So we put R outside the bracket. So we have in the bracket there, we remain with T plus Q. Remember, the term factorization is actually a verb coming from the noun factor. So it actually means getting factors. So from here, the factors of RT plus RQ are R and T plus Q. Now we go to the denominator. Again, we look for a common factor. In this case, you can see it is M. So we have our M, then into T plus Q. So we factorized the denominator just as we did with the numerator. Then after this, we don't leave this at this place, at this point. Remember, we are asked to simplify. So what we've done here is just to factorize the numerator and the denominator. So to simplify, of course, we look for common factor. So you can see here, we have RT in the numerator, R plus T, not R plus T, T plus Q in the numerator, and we also have T plus Q in the denominator. Now, when you put in a bracket here, what is in the bracket is considered to be one thing. Now that these are unknowns, so T plus Q is considered to be 1, even though we have T and Q, but this is considered to be 1, so that in the denominator we have two factors, M and T plus Q. In the numerator we also have two factors, R and T plus Q. So here T plus Q is common, so we cancel it out in the numerator and the denominator, so that the final answer is actually R over M. So this is the simplified form of what we have here. Now let's look at another example. For instance, we could be given us to simplify 3bx minus 3by plus 4ax minus 4ay all over x minus y. So again, as we said earlier, we deal with the numerator and the denominator separately. So in this case, we have the numerator. We can say that the denominator is already in its simplest form. So we have the numerator which we need to factorize and get factors. So if you remember from our earlier clips of factorization by grouping, in this case, since we have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have to factorize by grouping. And that involves, if you refer to our earlier clips, pairing the terms that we have here. So in this case, we can start by the first pair. We have the common term is 3b. So we have 3b into, in the bracket, we remain with x minus y. And then if you remember, in our other bracket, we'll have x minus y. Please, if you don't understand how we factorize by this numerator, you can refer to my earlier clip where we talked about methods of factorization, and especially factorization by grouping. So here we'll have the other bracket will also be an x minus y, and we ask ourselves, what do we need to put out here so that when we expand, we'll be able to get what we had originally. So you can see we'll have 4a in the other pair. 4a is the common one. And what sign do we need to put here? Again, always ask yourself, which sign do you put here so that when you open this bracket, you'll get back to what we had up there. So in this case, you can see here we'll have a plus. So this is the numerator. Now remember, we still have our denominator x minus y. And then we proceed. So we have the factorized form of the numerator. In this case, will now be 3b. We take the terms that are out, 3b and plus 4a plus 4a. Sorry. And then one of the brackets, x minus y. All over, remember our denominator was x minus y. So as you can see here, we have factorized the numerator and we also have our denominator, and you can see we have an x minus y in the numerator and we also have x minus y in the denominator. So this cancels this, and the simplified form of our algebraic expression becomes 3b plus 4a. I hope you get this clearly. Sorry, my pen is not very clear, but the message is clear there. So this is the factorized form of that expression. I hope this was clear to you. I want now to give you an exercise which you can do during your free time. I'll give you the exercise and also accompany them with answers so that you can tell whether you are right or wrong. So ensure you do this. Remember, we can't be good at mathematics if you don't practice. So the secret to mathematics is not just knowing, but the secret is in practicing, because when you practice, you get to know the various methods, how to maneuver on given questions. So exercise, you can do this. Simplify. You'll allow me to use my other ball pen Can you do this? 1, I'll give you 2, 3, sorry. 4x y minus 3x plus 8y squared minus 6y all over x plus 2y. Now try that and you should be able to get an answer similar to what we have, 4y minus 3. That is the expected answer. The next question that I want you to attempt, or simplify 4pq minus 3p plus 8q squared minus 6q all over 8q minus 6. The expected answer is p plus q plus 2q, over 3. Try that. Then finally, you can also try this. Simplify 2m minus am minus 2y plus ay all over 2m plus 2y minus am minus ay, and the expected answer is m minus y over m plus y. If this was useful to you and helpful to you, please smash that subscribe button. You can give me a thumbs up, and please do share this video with your friends so that they can also benefit. Thank you so much for your audience. Have a nice time and always take care. Bye bye.